Boundaries are not walls. They're agreements.
If you say yes, you screw your whole day up.
No one's coming to you to fix it. They're coming to you to get a haircut.
So you're present and you care, but you're not carrying their emotional weight home with you.
Welcome back to Hair Smarter, and this is the podcast where we cut through the noise and get real about what it actually takes to thrive behind the chair and beyond.
And today we're going to talk about something every stylist thinks about, but few of us are taught to do: creating healthy boundaries.
We're back. We're in
back.
California, and you
Yes.
have a nice summer glow. How was it?
Oh my gosh, it was so wonderful. Actually, it was in Arizona because my dad moved to Arizona, which I can't believe I haven't been there until now.
Oops.
Really beautiful. It's high desert and it's just so amazing. One night we stargazed. We watched the sunset and then we watched all the stars come out into the sky. And then when the moon came up, it was so bright because it was a full moon that it took all the stars away.
Oh,
It
so you
was
felt
like-
like you were back in New York with like the two stars in the sky.
Totally.
That's awesome.
Totally. Yeah. And then we went to California and it was really nice. How about you? What have you been up to?
Oh, I've been in like a wedding palooza.
Great.
Every weekend I've been doing a wedding, and then we've got one more this weekend. We're going up to Vermont.
Nice.
It's actually the two women that fostered my dog before.
I know, because
before we got
you're
her.
good friends with them,
Yeah,
right?
totally. They did ask for our dog Dolly to be a flower girl. However,
I love
that's a long drive, and she's a little bit of a crackhead right now because she's still young. So we opted not to. But
Yeah.
it was nice
Smart.
she got the invite.
Yeah,
Anyway,
Vermont's a long way.
well, listen, welcome back to Hair Smarter. I'm Sarah.
And I'm Sarajane, and today we're talking about something every stylist thinks about, but few of us were actually taught to do. And that's creating healthy boundaries. And it's boundaries with our schedules, boundaries with our clients, and even salon staff, salon management, teammates, all of the above.
Now, listen, we both have had most of our career in New York City, and we both have lived the burnout stories. We both said yes when we should have said no, and we both learned, sometimes the hard way, that boundaries actually aren't selfish, but they're survival.
Yep. And the good news, research shows they don't just protect us, is that they actually make us better at what we do.
Ooh, awesome. Let's get
So
into it.
true.
So let's start with this. Boundaries are not walls. They're agreements. Psychologist Brene Brown, which I'm sure a lot of you have heard of her before, puts it like this: clear boundaries are the key to real compassion. If you don't have them, you end up overextending, resenting, and eventually snapping.
And it's not just theory. The Journal of Occupational Health Psychology found that employees that had strong work-life boundaries reported significantly lower rates of burnout. So if you've ever wondered why you feel fried after a week of saying yes to every request, science is backing you up.
True. Listen, I've had stories like this where I've had burnout in my life and in my career. And I can tell you right now, I am awful at them. I've been awful at them for the majority of my career. So I know that most hairdressers book a lunch since honestly the beginning of my career. I've been like, no lunch. Why would I take a lunch? I could make money during that time and whatever. I'll just shove something in my face in between clients. So that was a big one. I've definitely done it where I take too many clients in a day, whether it was my time at Bumble and Bumble when I was working on the half hour. I mean, I liked the
Oh my
paycheck. I
God.
can't say I liked the feeling when I got home, right? Or even if I was sick or on vacation or something, I always felt like I had to catch up. So making sure that I, book that client after work or before work or on my lunch break or whatever. All of these things, I had a really, really bad time actually making boundaries. And knowing when to say no to things.
Yeah. Yeah. Same. So let's talk about policies. So cancellations, no shows, late arrivals, we've all dealt with those.
Mm.
And it feels comfortable at first, but research from Harvard Business Review shows that norms are strongest when they're written down.
Huh.
And yeah, I agree 100%.
So this means like that sounds weird to say because like we're not that kind of job, right? We are
No.
doing things and servicing people. But what this means is that if you have a cancellation policy in writing, then it's not about the mood of the day. I mean, I've definitely had the mood where I'm like, yeah, whatever, it's fine. And then the next time something happens, you're like, hell no, like the cancellation policy is this, right? It's really not about the mood of the day when you have it written down. It's about the agreement. So, behavioral economics tells us people value what they invest in. So, late fees, for example, aren't punishment, they're reinforcement that your time has value.
Yeah, it's so
How do you
true.
handle cancellation policies?
Well, I did not have a cancellation policy for a really long time
No, neither did I. Neither did I.
because I felt so guilty, especially living in New York. Like everybody is so busy and running around and schedules change and people have kids and all these things. But once I actually wrote down my cancellation policy and put it in the confirmation email that goes
Oh,
out to my
yeah. When you send it
clients,
out like through Square or something.
I literally I only have late cancellations if they're like dire emergencies. Like
Which is
now.
kinda crazy, like, just by writing it down, you're already creating that agreement, so that's
Oh,
actually pretty amazing, right?
yeah, people know what's up. They wanna
Yeah,
know what's up.
yeah, yeah, I agree,
It's
and
like dogs, right, Sarah? Like, they wanna know the rules, but we're not dogs, I'm just saying.
I mean,
It's
but we're all
like
animals, so
yeah,
whatever.
yeah, it's true.
Guess the
It's
biggest
true.
thing I was thinking about when we had decided we want to talk about boundaries, because these are all great ones. And, you either make the choice to do them or you don't. But emotional boundaries, I feel like, have always been the hardest one for me. So when clients share, we listen. And that's kind of part of the magic of doing this job, right? Like you
Mhm.
really get to be very close with people, especially if you keep clients for a long time and you get to grow with them through life. And that's
Yeah.
that's amazing. But here's the catch. There's a difference between empathy and compassion.
So empathy is you feeling with your client. You actually start to take on their emotions, and that can be draining. And compassion, though, is feeling for them. So you're present and you care, but you're not carrying their emotional weight home with you.
Hmm.
I mean,
Yeah, I think
that's pretty huge.
Yeah, it is huge, right? And honestly, we found that psychologists have found this difference actually matters. So, research published in the Clinical Social Work Journal shows that professionals who lean into pure empathy, so that's absorbing other people's feelings, are more likely to hit compassion fatigue and burnout. But those who practice compassion can sustain their care much longer.
Yeah, it makes total sense. It makes total sense. Actually, I'm actively practicing this right now. And one tool is something called cognitive reappraisal. And that's a fancy way of saying reframe it in your mind. For example, I can hold space for this client, but this emotion isn't mine to carry. It lets you stay grounded while still showing support.
Oof, this is such a big one for me. It
God, if
really
I
is.
would have
Ugh.
known this
I
stuff.
mean, seriously, and, like, to learn it is hard because it's not so, like, cut and dry, and it is very much a soft skill, right? Um, this has been a really big one for me, and I do wanna say I've come a long way with it, but serious stuff is really hard, especially if you've known a client for, like, a really long time. So, an illness, a
Mhm.
divorce, a
Mhm.
death, a job loss. I've really leaned into this cognitive reappraisal situation. And I also have leaned more into knowing the difference between empathy and compassion. Like that makes a big difference. So I find
Yeah.
myself listening more and giving advice less in big situations like that, right?
So
I
you
just
can't
that's how I
fix
have to
it
do it,
either.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So I'll
I'm a
say
big
something.
fixer.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, that is the biggest thing is like you don't have to fix it. No one's coming to you to fix it. They're coming to you to get a haircut, right?
Yeah.
So some
Yep.
of the things I may say is, you know, I'm so sorry this is happening to you or for you,
Yeah.
or God, that just really sucks. I'm so sorry. I'm definitely still very present in the conversation and I can feel it. But as I mature, I know that I don't have to fix it, right? I
Yeah.
just have to try to hold that space with them. And most of the time, to be honest, that's what people want and need anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. And if you're a highly empathetic person like myself, you might be more prone to do something called emotional cognition. It's where you literally catch someone else's stress. Um, Guilty.
Hi, thanks.
Studies on interpersonal emotional regulation show that being aware of this tendency helps you put up gentle internal boundaries. Um, yeah, it's so true. Sometimes you can see somebody as they walk in the door, what kind of energy they're bringing in.
Yeah.
And you can kind of say, am I going to take this on? Or you're like, okay, I'm gonna block it
Not
right
today,
there.
lady.
Not
Not
today. I'm
today.
gonna put up my boundaries right away and just agree and smile and not agree and smile, but you just can't take it on.
Yeah.
You just can't.
Yeah. If you had a client that's had a hard time with something recently, like maybe they lost a job and they're kind of spinning out of control, or they've had a death in the family or something like that. I mean, the little stuff that people do, or have problems with, like, sure, I'll get in the weeds with you. Like, oh my God, really? The hard stuff. What do you do with that?
100%. 100%. I've been in this industry a really long time. And, in my younger days, I didn't deal with it very well.
Mm,
But now, like you said, it's like, oh, I'm sorry, this really sucks. And also, just like you said, holding space for them, I think is really important. A lot of times people just really want to come in and offload. And it's like, great, go ahead. I'm not participating in it, but I allow them to do that now as opposed to like, trying to hang on to every word. And also, I was a fixer too.
oh, yeah.
But I'm just not anymore. You really just have to prepare yourself and say to yourself, like, this is not my thing. This is their thing. I don't need to carry this, like you said. And it's hard, but it's practice, just like everything else. It's just like the
Yeah.
scissor, the razor. This stuff is part of our job too. So we have to work at it to get good at it.
And listen, if you don't take time to create these like internal boundaries, like you're saying, it shows up as compassion fatigue, right? The
Yeah,
exhaustion from caring so much that you have nothing left for yourself. And that's why boundaries, in this case, they're not cold or detached. They actually keep us creative and joyful in our work, right?
totally. And it gives us longevity also.
Yes, 100%. 100%.
So now let's get into a scary one is saying no.
Oof.
William Uri, who co-wrote Getting to Yes, talks about the positive no. And you frame it around what you're saying yes to instead.
Okay, so like an example of this would be, you know what? I can't take you on Sunday, but I can give you my full attention on Tuesday at 11. Do you want that appointment? That way, it isn't a rejection, but more of a redirection.
Yeah, I like that. I find that even communicating with clients like that in general, I don't even speak the no answers anymore.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even say I can't do that day. I just say I can do this day instead. So yeah. And research in Frontiers in Psychology shows that professionals who can say no without guilt have higher resilience. So
Mm.
your ability to decline a request isn't just about time, it's about mental health. And it's so
Ooh,
true.
yeah.
It's
It is
so true.
so true. Like, I can think of a lot of first times that I said no and realized, like, that it wasn't the end of the world. The
No.
big ones for me were squeezing people in before and after work just to be like, no, even if I really like them and they're my favorite client and whatever, of course I'm going to try to take care of you, but I also need to take care of me. And if I'm leaving work after, 7:30, I'm not getting home until 8:30. I'm eating at 9. Like that's too late for me now. It was fine when I was like 20 and was like, whatever, I can't do it anymore. And
No.
honestly, when you're 20, you shouldn't do it either. The biggest one for me, though, was Fashion Week.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I've
Me
done
too.
Fashion Week for 20 years. Fashion Week's so crazy and disorganized always, even though they do it every 6 months and can't fucking figure it out. But, it's not my favorite thing to do. It's not something that I really enjoy, like that hectic schedule and feeling like we're behind the whole time and everybody's screaming and yelling and there's so many personalities and whatever. But when I, a couple years ago, finally was just like, I don't want to be on your team or any team for Fashion Week. I just don't want to do it. It just doesn't feel good. It makes me feel anxious and like upset. Like, why am I doing that? Especially a lot of times there's a trade-off for to feel that way you get paid something and a lot of money. And like Fashion Week doesn't pay you a lot of money. So it's not my passion. My passion is cutting and taking care of clients and having relationships with my clients. So
Same.
Fashion Week was definitely a big one.
Yeah, I agree.
But that doesn't mean, saying no with kindness, right? Like redirecting. Doesn't mean I can't be involved in that part of the industry. I've
Yeah.
made a really big effort to go out and get a bunch of different contracts with different agencies. So I get to like actually know the models and I get to cut them and do them all year instead of get them ready to go to Fashion Week, right? Like
Yeah.
I don't need to be part of the whole thing.
Because they actually hate the
Yeah,
hairstylists
everybody hates it. I
on
don't
the
know why
day
we
of
do
the
it.
show.
Like, why do we keep doing it?
Yeah. Yeah.
There's only like
Uh,
3 people who like it.
yeah. I want to just share a personal story on this matter too about saying no to
Oh.
clients that are consistently late.
Ooh,
We
girl,
did
that is
not
a
talk
huge
about
one.
this yet, but
Mm.
like, if you say yes, you screw
Uh-huh.
your whole day up, right?
Yes.
Which is not
Yes.
okay for one person who will, because you did not set a boundary, continue to be late
And do you think
repeatedly
that they
for
care that
every
they made
appointment.
you for the next
No,
7 clients? They don't care.
no, because they don't think about that. They think, "Oh
Mhm.
my God, I'm getting in, yay." And then I can move on to my next appointment. I can remember, I tell you this guy was 15 to 20 minutes late for every single appointment. And granted, I can do a guy in shorter amount of time than an hour appointment. So
Yeah.
fine. I can usually squeeze a guy in, no problem. So I always say yes. And one time I had somebody in the salon that wanted a haircut, wasn't on my schedule. My guy was 15 minutes late. And so I said yes.
Good for
And
you.
when he showed up, I told him no.
Yeah, good for you.
I was like, I'm sorry. I feel like I put my big girl pants on and was like,
It's so scary when you do it though, right? Like, which
it
sounds
really,
crazy because, let's talk about the break room for a second. Like, we literally will all go in the break room and be like, yeah, fuck this shit. Like, I'm not taking that client. La, la, la. 9 out of 10
yeah,
times, you're out there busting your ass, sweating, trying to
trying to
get this
make it
client
work.
done. Yeah.
Yeah, trying to make it work. And let me tell you, ever since that day that I turned him away and he
Yeah.
couldn't get a haircut, never late ever again.
That's right. He just needed a little smackdown, huh?
Ever again. I'm like
I love it.
amazed. I love
I love it.
I know.
That's so funny.
It's
That
really
is so
amazing.
funny.
Yeah.
Well, listen, I mean, you're right, right? Like consistency is everything. So found this study in Administrative Science Quarterly. Yes, we've been doing some reading. We found that when leaders were inconsistent, people stopped respecting the rules. So same thing in the salon. If
It's
you
so
waive
true.
the cancellation fee once, or you wave it away like, oh, it's okay, the policy loses power to
Yeah.
your clients, but also to you, right?
Yeah. And communication research shows people accept boundaries more easily when they're applied fairly across the board. So don't give
Mm.
special treatment just because someone's a favorite client or a friend or whoever. You have to stay consistent.
That's funny. Recently, I have had this client for 25 years. I love her. I know her since she was single and then she started dating and how she's moved up in her career and now she's married and has 2 kids and like I've done all the things with their family through all of those events. And you know what? Like I get it. She has a couple kids and it's very hard to schedule things ahead. Actually, I don't really get it because I don't have kids, but I'm sure it's really hard. But I mean, I'm booked out a couple weeks in advance now. Like New York is different. Like we're not months and months and months, and we're not colorists. So, they can normally get in the next week or so. But she couldn't. And she was like, "Wait, what? There's no appointments?" And I'm like, "I'm so sorry. It's booked." Like, w- how am I going to fit 3 people in before work? Like, I don't want to do that. I have to drop my dog off at daycare before work. So I would have to schedule that and then getting on an earlier train and like all the different things. And like, no, I don't want to do it. Figure it
Um,
out.
even the basics, okay?
Yeah.
So we are not young little chickens anymore. So like a good night's sleep,
Thank
eating
you.
breakfast, being physically active, all of
Yes.
those things that you do in the morning are more important than
Yeah.
squeezing that one client in. Because how else are you going to sustain a whole day if you don't do those things?
You can't. You
You can't.
truly can't.
So also, let's not forget the physical side of this.
Mm.
Burnout is a real thing. And the
Mm.
World Health Organization recognizes burnout as a legit syndrome.
Woo!
Um, and as we know in this industry, it's physical too, standing all day, and the repetitive movements that we have can become serious issues.
Yeah, actually, if you look at some of the studies in sports science, like the one that we found in Applied Ergonomics as a publication, they found that micro breaks and stretching improve long-term muscle and skeletal health, right? So when you take 2 minutes to stretch your hands or roll your shoulders, you're not actually slacking. It's going to be a really big extension to your career.
Yeah. I try to
Yeah,
do any kind of little physical movement between each client, whether
yeah.
it's shake my hands out, roll my shoulders back a few times, do some like hip rolls. Cause I mean, the weight balance on each leg and stuff, my quadriceps, my hamstrings, everything is so tight. So if I don't move, I'm
Yeah.
destroyed.
Yeah, I agree. I have taken that time, like, I probably have a good 5 to 10 minutes in between each client if I'm running on time. And I used to like, "Oh, let me check my emails, check my texts, get online real quick," all those things. Not anymore. I can't do it. I just have a moment and like, whether it's like shaking off something, like maybe it was a really tough conversation with your last client, or maybe it's like you did a big set with a little tiny brush and your shoulders hurt. Any of those things, just taking the time to, take care of that, take care of your body during that time. It's really
Yeah.
important.
Yeah. We had this conversation before. Like dogs
Mhm.
do it.
Yes. Every time my
After
dog gets up, she's got a big stretch.
yeah, a big stretch, and also, like, they shake stuff off.
Mm,
So, if you scratch them, they shake it off. If they get wet, they shake it off. If they meet another dog, they shake it off.
mm, mm. It's so true. That's
Changing
great.
the energy up too. Yeah.
Mhm. Let's talk about boundaries when it comes to like, I mean, we talked about it a little bit, but like time management and focus, right? So
Okay.
we were looking at this guy, Cal Newport. He's the author of Deep Work. He shows that constant availability kills creativity. This is crazy. I mean, it's great crazy, but like we grew up with a manager at a salon that we worked at for a long time that was like, you need to be available all the time to get new clients, right? It's interesting.
Mhm.
So, this is interesting that Cal Newport did all this research because he says you need blocks of time where you're not checking your DMs, you're not checking your texts, you're not checking in with your schedule, you're not answering questions for people.
You're not multitasking.
Yeah.
You're focusing on work, and then you're focusing on administrative stuff.
Yeah.
They can't all be
Or you're
mushed into
focusing
the
on
same
your new TV show after work.
Yeah.
You're focusing on your yoga class, whatever, right?
Yeah. Yeah, and you need that time,
Yeah.
and it can't be filled with all other things. Yes, and so research in the Journal of Applied Psychology shows that detaching from work after hours improves long-term performance. Makes
So
so much sense.
interesting.
So closing your books at 7 p.m. and not checking until morning, it's not slacking. It's strategy.
Mm, that is a hard one. Though I will say you're pretty good at it. Or it seems
I
like it. I
I've
don't know.
I've gotten to be really good at it. It's hard with social media,
Yeah.
because people
Yeah.
have access to you on all of the social media outlets. They have your phone number, and you really just have to say no. But I do get texts at like 11 p.m. You'd be surprised. And it's just like you just have to say no. I mean, I do my best, but I still have that little mentality in my mind that
Yeah.
I have to be available. If I don't answer, will they find somebody else?
Isn't that crazy that we still think that in like 30
Yeah.
years? It's so crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy. So
Yeah.
I guess like big picture impact, here's the bigger truth is that boundaries actually build trust. Gallup's workplace studies show that clear expectations create way better relationships. I think that's probably true across the board. And clients respect professionals who respect themselves.
Yep. And small business economics found that people who uphold boundaries have more sustainable business long term.
Mm.
Overextending feels like hustling, but it's actually self sabotage, which I get.
I get it too. Because boundaries actually aren't just for you, they shape the culture of your salon, your client base, and even your longevity in this industry. I always say, like, you have to teach people how to interact and be with you. And
Yes.
so if you are one that doesn't have a lot of boundaries, then you're teaching all your clients that that's okay. And you're not going to make it 30 years.
Yeah,
You're just not.
what you will be doing is putting yourself in multiple abusive relationships, because
Yeah.
that's really what it is.
I mean, yeah, right? So I guess if you take one thing from today, boundaries aren't a bad word, right? They're how you protect your craft, your energy, and your business.
And we'd love to hear your stories. Where have boundaries saved you, and where do you still struggle to set them? Drop us a line on the gram, TikTok, or YouTube at It's the Break Room.
And thanks for hanging out with us in our break room today. And until next time, hair smarter.